In this episode of Akram's Ideas, I get buried in fabric. Hello and welcome. I'm Akram Tagaby-Burith, and you're watching Akram's Ideas, bringing creative and crazy ideas to life. And talking about crazy, I am here today to share with you my latest crazy fabric haul. And I don't even know if you can see it all here. I actually just got back from a weekend antiquing trip to Joplin, and I had all my boxes and bags of fabric that I came across on the floor getting ready to sort it, and I thought that instead of sorting it and then sharing with you later, that I would share it as I sort it. Now, there are several antique stores that I just love that are in Joplin. There's the Rangeline Antiques Mall. There's the Pink Flamingo? Something with a flamingo. And then there's a couple of others on the way from Pittsburgh, Kansas to Joplin that have some really good stuff too, like Peddler's Junction, and there was another one that we stopped to, but I'll put all the names of the antique stores that I got this stuff from in the description below. I don't remember which fabrics came from where because I just kind of tossed them in the car and used the boxes that I had and the boxes they had and sort of combined and everything like that. But there are some really great finds here, and I'm excited to share with you what I got. So in no particular order, I'm just going to go through the bags as I come across them. Okay, so the first bag has what I would call, I guess, like a terry cloth fabric. Or maybe it's a peach skin. It's got this fuzzy outer layer. It's not horribly, incredibly soft. It's okay. The inside of it is soft though. It's sort of got this mesh backing. And it's about 3 yards of this pink. It's not too stretchy, but a little stretchy. And I'm thinking maybe an Astoria sweater. I've gotten that pattern last fall, but I have yet to make it. So this might be a contender. Now, many of you probably follow Emily Hallman, who goes by the username Emily Hallman Designs on Instagram. And she does these wonderful color-inspired capsule wardrobes, and she's all about the colorful stripes. So in this bag, I have these amazing stripe fabrics. Now, these are actually a set of bed sheets. So there's yellow, pink, and sort of a pastel green. So we've got the yellow, the pink, and then this pastel-y green. And I thought, even though they're bed sheets, I mean, there's a lot of fabric here, and they are really good condition, and they're not too incredibly see-through either. So I thought some sort of really cool color collection, something similar to what Emily shows in her Instagram photos, but I just thought this was so nice. And I don't know what it is, but pastel stripes, they always give me sort of a nautical sense to them, and I just really love those colors too. So moving along, so here is some sort of like mustardy brown, like more on the brown tone than the yellow tone, but it's definitely sort of a mustard color. 2 yards for about $2 here, and this is some jersey knit fabric, and I have a ton of knit patterns in my head that I'm going to be making, and I got, of course, Tilly's books, Stretch, and this is gonna go to the side for autumn, but I am excited. I've got some other jerseys in here as well. Jersey's always kind of hard to find, so if I come across some quality jersey or just a color that I've been wanting, I definitely gravitate towards that. So here is some more stripes. This is about, I think it's either 3 or 4 yards. And this is a cotton fabric that has a very small blue stripe to it. I'm not really sure what I'm going to make from it. It's a cottony, I'm going to say a little bit on the linen-y side, but I have been wanting to make some culottes, so maybe that is a good option. I also have some of this black, and I don't know what you call this fabric. It's definitely a polyester of some kind, I would say. It's got a little bit of stretch to it. Not a whole lot, but I think maybe some trousers or a pencil skirt. I need a black pencil skirt because I don't have any in my wardrobe since I've done a full wardrobe clean out, which I still promise to share with you coming up in a little bit, my closet redo. But I did closet clean out and I need a black pencil skirt. This one is really lovely. This is a pretty heavyweight fabric. It is definitely a natural fiber of some kind. It's cotton, but it's really heavyweight, so kind of in a linen-y side, but it doesn't have that linen texture to it. But this fabric I thought would be fantastic for autumn, and because of its weight, maybe even a pair of overalls like the Cleo overalls from Tilly and the Buttons. I have that pattern. That would be so cute for Thanksgiving to have that, and it'd be really comfy to wear too. So that may be what that was. Oh, and then maybe it was like the mustard, maybe like an Agnes top or something to go with it. Those colors would look really good together, I think. But I do have some other jerseys in here that might go better with it. But anyways, that's a really nice find. And then this one here is, I'm going to say it's a semi-denim. It's got a denim texture. It kind of feels like denim, but it's not heavyweight, so it's really light. But it's mint green. I mean, come on. You can't go wrong with that. And it's 3 yards. And I believe the last one was 3 yards too. So this one was like, yeah. And I will say that everything that I buy, it's typically $1 a yard, or a little more if it's got an extensive pattern on it. But I hardly ever buy something that is more than maybe $4 a yard. The only concern when shopping secondhand is that you're limited to what the yardage is. So that's a thing to keep in mind. So other unique fabrics is this fabric here, which is, this one's super soft actually. So this one is a soft fabric with sort of a shearing in the center of it. It is stretchy as well. So this one, I don't know, it's really pretty. I have a couple of different ideas. I'm thinking like maybe the Joni dress from the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book. I think that would look really nice in here. I think a chestnut sweater would look really nice. I probably have sort of a light satiny purple ribbon that I could use for the back of it. So the chestnut sweater from Coco Wall Crafts. I don't know. There's so many options with this. And there's about 2 or 3 yards here. So maybe I could get at least 2 tops and or a dress out of it. So I don't know. But that was kind of an interesting find. There's also some holiday fabric mixed in here, because holiday fabric or anything with prints are sometimes hard to find at the antique stores, especially unique prints. So this one is this beautiful poinsettia print, and I'm gonna say I think this had 2 yards on it, and so I've been wanting to make some really pretty Christmas dresses, and this is a really nice find. Maybe even a Christmas blouse or something that I could wear with different things. Like if I wanted to wear it with slacks, I could, because you know it's cold here during winter. This one is really pretty. This is definitely a vintage print. So it's navy. There's 1 yard of it here. But this is definitely going to be a lovely top that I could pair with a navy skirt. I just like these little floral prints. I think they're really nice. Moving through the stack here. Now this one's really pretty. And I think I may have paid a little bit more for this one. I think there's 2 yards and I paid maybe $4, so like $2 a yard or something. But this one is a canvas type fabric, and it's got this beautiful floral print on it. It's actually, now that I've felt it on a single strand, it's thinner than I thought. It's still canvas fabric, but it's a little thinner than I thought. But I don't know, it could be a skirt or something, but being that it's kind of a more canvasy fabric, I always like to save those for purses. And I have yet to really make a whole lot of purses, but I have a whole box of fabric that I have designated to use for purses. So that's going to happen this summer. I'm going to like sit down and just spend time making a whole bunch of different purse patterns. Alright, some other print is apples. And I love fruit patterns, anything with fruit on it. And if you go back through my blog, I've got a lemon dress that I've made in the past. I have an apple dress that I've made in the past with a different type of print. I've got a fruit circle skirt that I made a year or 2 ago. I don't know if that one's on the blog, but I love any kind of fruit inspired prints. And apple is just like really, really nice. And I can make a really nice shirt dress out of this. Ooh, shirt dress for the first day of school. I mean, what would be better for a teacher to wear first day of school than an apple dress, right? I don't know if there's enough there, but I'm going to make something with it regardless. I love apple prints. Alright, so this is another fabric, and I bought this fabric for a specific reason. It's really rare, but it has happened on occasion to me, is that I'll go to an antique store and I'll go to a totally different one, or I'll go back at a different time and there'll be more of the same fabric that I've previously purchased, because again, you're limited to what they have there. And so I found this fabric here, and I think there's about 2 yards in here, and I swear I have this fabric. I've bought it before, and I think I have like another 2 yards. So with this 2 yards and the 2 yards that I previously had, I'm thinking, I mean, look at that print. 50s dress. Some sort of 50s inspired dress. There's the buttrick one. Oh, I can't think of what it is. I'll put it, I'll try to put it in the description, but it's the one that, Abby from the Crafty Pinup, she's made several of those dresses, and I really like the way they look. So, and I have that pattern. Oh, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's got like a grown-on sleeve and a wrap skirt, and then there's the other one that has the bow in the back. I don't know. That was a strapless one. Either one would be really cute, but I've got to go through my stash and actually find the matching one, because I swear I have that one. Which leads me to, now that I've cleaned my closet and everything, I'm actually on this cleaning phase, so I'm going to be cleaning out my fabric stash hopefully very soon. Alright, so the next one was an amazing find, and I actually did pay a lot for this. I think it was like $3 a yard. So I believe there's 2 yards here, so it was $6 or something like that. So look at that. Isn't that a beautiful? This is a sweatshirting fabric because it has the sweatshirt material on the inside. It's got a little bit of stretch. It has that puff paint fabric feel to it, and then it's really, really soft everywhere where the flowers aren't. So the flowers have that puff paint feel to them. Oh, actually I take that back. It's the white checks that have the puff paint. The flowers are soft. Okay, so it's the white checks. Anyways, I saw this and I thought this looks very 60s mod, and I'm thinking a cocoa. I'm thinking the cocoa dress, if I have enough. Maybe just the cocoa top. But this is what I'm thinking for this one. And I've made the cocoa several times, but I have yet to make the cocoa without the funnel neck. And I think this one would lend itself well to not having the funnel neck, to just the regular top. But that is... Oh, if I make it a top, it would look fantastic with my cinnamon trousers from Cocoa Wild Crafts, because they have like the black houndstooth, and this would go really well with it. I don't know. but it's a sweatshirt material, so I wouldn't wear it until wintertime anyways, so we'll see. Alright, moving along the stash here, I'll go to this one. These 3 bolts. Yes, bolts of fabric. You can come by bolts of fabric often at antique stores. And these 3 bolts were $10. I mean, can you, and look at them. They're fun. There's a striped one, there's a white and blue, and then there's the blue. Now, I will say, they actually have the little tags still on them, or the things. And they say that they're 65% polyester, 35% cotton. They are machine washable. Anyways, looking at the tops of these and what they're labeled and everything, I would say they're out of the 80s. You wouldn't see this type of font and writing and stuff. So 80s. But I will say that they are super, super thin, like a gauze, I guess. Yeah, I would say like a gauze fabric. So I don't know what to do with them. I could just double it up like it is now and just use itself as a self-lining. But I'm thinking some fun blouse tops maybe. But again, I'd have to do something for a lining or just have them doubled up or something. But if you have any ideas what you can do with those, because they are like a very thin gauze type fabric, I'd love to hear in the comments below, especially if you see anything and you're like, oh, I know what you should make with that. I'd love to hear in the comments below, because a lot of times I just find fabric that the price is just too good to beat, and it's beautiful fabric, but I don't always have a plan. So that's like my problem, is I don't always have a plan. Speaking of not always having a plan, let me pull out the safety pin before I stab myself. Here is some other lovely yellow. This is probably a sateen, a silky type, satiny type fabric. It's not shiny, it's matte. But for this I'm thinking lining. So I always try to get some lining fabric. This one is also really shiny and almost vinyl-y in a feel. Maybe it's a taffeta. Ooh, I bet this is a taffeta. But look at that, a plaid. There's not much here though, so I would say maybe 1.5 yards, but that is really pretty. It definitely has a very nice, you hear that? I think it's like a taffeta, but again, I'm not an expert on fabric, so I just sort of get what I think is soft and pretty. Mostly pretty, not so much soft. Alright, moving along. So here is some more stripes. Again, yeah, I was inspired by Emily Hallman when I saw this. And this is a pretty heavyweight canvas material. Well, it's not too heavyweight, but it's definitely a canvas fabric. But I still think that I could get something out of it, maybe a nice skirt or a beach bag, because there's quite a lot of it here. And I love green. Green's my favorite color. Moving along the pile. We've gotten into the boxes now. I think there's still a few more bags. This is going to be a long video. So if you're watching and you're halfway now, I don't even know if we're halfway. We'll just keep going. And I need fabric like I need a hole in my head. I don't know. I come across it. It's such good deals. And not a lot of people sew. So a lot of people end up just thrifting these fabrics because they inherited them or they come across them and they don't have no place else to put it. And, you know, they're a good deal and they're really nice prints. Like this print. Da, da, da. This is adorable. It's like a black with this beautiful little daisy print. I'm thinking some sort of 60s top. Like one of my favorite patterns, Simplicity 1364, would look really nice in this. But I don't know. Again, you might have an idea, but I'm thinking some sort of nice little cotton top. That was a cotton fabric. Alright, this one, I know what I want to make with it. Or I have an idea what I want to make with it. I love vintage prints or prints that make me think that it looks so vintage. So this print, I mean, look at that. That is so vintage. It's just so pretty. There's 4 yards of this. So, I am thinking a vintage short dress, the Sew Over It vintage shirt dress, or another vintage shirt dress pattern. I have lots of vintage, official vintage shirt dress patterns. So that's what that's going to be, a shirt dress. And I'm thinking I probably have in my stash some like ivory, pearly ivory buttons that would look amazing with this. Yes. All right, moving on. Okay, so again, I have some more plaid fabric, some purple plaid, and I was following I Live in My Lab, who is a vintage Instagrammer blogger. She had a vintage dress that was plaid that she posted a few months ago or so, and I loved the way that looked, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get all the plaid I can and recreate that dress. Hers was more of a 70s, 60s colors, was the oranges, reds, and stuff, but plaid, I don't think goes out of style, really. I mean, you can have any color plaid, right? This one I got because it kind of reminded me of the other one that I showed you, the vintage inspired one. So this one is just another cream one with these sort of brown ivy leaves. It doesn't have any particular flowers, so it's almost a neutral, but again, I think a vintagey shirt dress of some kind. I love shirt dresses, and oddly enough, I haven't made a whole lot of them, and I feel like I get nervous about the button placket not fitting. A lot of times I really should do a full bust adjustment, but I just try to finagle it so I don't have to. And that's why I like the Sew Over It pattern so much, because I am just right there, size 18. It works perfectly. Granted, I probably have to resize soon because I've been trying to lose weight and been semi-successful with it. Well, I've been successful, but it's a slow process. But that pattern fits so well, and I think probably the reason is that it doesn't have any darts. It has a yoke gather at the sleeve, which I think helps with the bust fittings. So the full bust adjustment isn't necessary because you have more leeway with that. But I'm still looking for other patterns that I could use to make adjustments to, or I could use to make a shirt dress where I don't have to make adjustments or very little. So this fabric here, this is like 5 yards or 4 yards, and again, it kind of looks, I think my husband's like, this looks like bed sheets, but it is fabric. It even says, it's got a salvage to it too. Something Industries, Spring Industries. And I thought this one would also be something really pretty with a big old circle skirt. It's got a nice print on it. I think a circle skirt or a gathered skirt, something with a big skirt. This is another one that has a really lovely print on it, and it's got this ivory and pink. I don't know why, but to me these are kind of fall colors. I think it's because of the warmer tones on the ivory. This fabric here, my husband actually really liked this one. He thought it would look good as a sweatshirt or something. He thought the texture was kind of interesting. So it is stretchy. So yeah, some sort of stretch top. There's quite a bit here, so it could be something else. This one, I'm excited about this one. This is a corduroy, which is also not always the easiest thing to come across, though I do have some corduroy in my stash. So the corduroy here, this gray corduroy, I'm going to obviously make a dress out of, but not a dress, but a skirt out of, and I'm going to use my trusty 8019 pattern, Simplicity 8019, which is a button-down skirt from the 70s. I really love that pattern. I love the way it looks, I love the look of the skirt, and I think it would look really nice in the corduroy. I made an ivory corduroy one last fall, but I think I'm going to try for the gray now. Alright, so let me go this way up here. So more Christmassy fabric, And this fabric here is a border print, and it's a Poinsettia Fabric. And so let me just kind of show you. There's the border print of it. And I believe I got 4 or 5 yards of this. So there was a cut of 3 and a cut of 2. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a cut of 1 and a cut of 3. So 4 or 5 yards. But that is definitely going to be another Christmas dress. And obviously something with a big skirt that has the has the print at the bottom. But I'd also like to play with having the print on the yoke of the back of the blouse. Because I'm thinking in my head, I don't know, shirt dress. And I think one of the reasons I'm thinking shirt dress with a big pointy collar, because the points on the leaves here, I think that would be a really good matching for it. This one is a very modern print. You probably can't tell, but if I bring it in closer, maybe you can see. It has got Christmas trees on it. So it's like a gold, it's almost like somebody sponged or stamped some gold Christmas trees with little red and green ornaments on this sort of pastel-y blue background. But, you know, it's like when you stamp, but it doesn't stamp all the way. So it's kind of interesting. But I thought that that would be a really nice top. There's about a yard there, so it'd be a nice top. This fabric is a chevron print with a little red, blue, and yellow dots going through it. And it is all woven. You can see from the back that all these colors are woven into it. It's a fairly thicker fabric. It doesn't really have any stretch. And it's definitely something I would say from the 70s based off what was else at this particular booth, if I recall correctly. So I'm thinking a nice matching suit, because I got that little piece and I got this piece. So I think I have 2 yards between the two, so 2 yards and another 2 yards, so 4 yards. So I'm thinking some sort of suit and jacket. And the reason I said that this one was probably from the 70s, because I got this at that same booth. And it is a matching fabric set to sew. It does not come with the pattern, but it comes with the terry cloth fabric and the contrasting rib knit for the binding. So it's like showing you that you can make your own little t-shirt and everything like that. So especially like what it shows at the top here, I might make the Frankie tee out of this from the Tilly's stretch book. So that might be fun, but it's got it all there. It's very interesting. I thought that was interesting anyways for me. So moving along. Like I said, if there's any kind of jersey, I'll pick it up. And I picked up these 2 rolls of knit white jersey. I believe they're 2 yards each, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know. I've got quite a bit of white jersey right now, and I don't typically wear white. But I'm thinking about dyeing it. And if any of you out there have any suggestions or comments about dyeing jersey, were you successful? What did you do? I'd love to hear in the comments below. Alright, so this is one of my favorite fabrics to work with. I don't even know what it's called. It is sort of a very soft, silky type fabric. It's got a good amount of stretch to it. It's obviously synthetic of some kind. I don't know what you call it. But these drape really nicely too, and I have the pomegranate patterns, or the Octavia Patterns pomegranate top, which is a cowl neck top, and I love making it with this fabric. The top is meant to be cut on the bias of just regular silk or satin fabric that has no stretch. But I found the top to be a little tight in the bust, so really again I need a full bust adjustment. But if I just cut it along the grain on these types of fabric, they fit perfectly because there's enough stretch in this, and then there's also the drape, and it still has sort of a silky satiny feel to it. So I've made a couple of tops out of this fabric and I really like it. So nice drapey tops. There's that. This fabric, I don't know if there's enough for what I want to do, but I want to make a suit out of this. So a pencil skirt and then a little 60s jacket. I've got that Simplicity pattern that's on my Make 9. I forget what it's called. But I think this would look really nice. It's a magenta hot pink with a bouquet on it. But I have to see if there's enough fabric there. This is another one of those silky type fabrics. There's a lot more of this one here. And I'm thinking this one might look good as a 1940s wrap dress from Sew Over It, because I have that pattern. But I don't know. I don't know if that one calls for like more stable fabric, but I thought this one might work for like a flowy dress. Speaking of flowy fabric, I have this fabric here, which is, again, it almost feels vinyl-y. It's really slick. I got it for lining. I say that, but I hardly ever line anything anymore because I'm lazy. This one was a little bit more pricier. I think it was $6 for 3 yards, but it is a print, and it's almost a photo print of leaves. And I need more autumn-y inspired prints in my wardrobe because I love autumn and I don't have very many autumn-y prints. So yeah. Okay, moving down the list. I told you it's going to be a long time because I have a lot here. So this green, this is sort of a, I don't know even what you'd call it, but it's a very stable fabric. It's a thicker, stable fabric, and this would be like a skirt. Oh, this turquoise is amazing. This one is 2 yards of this knit, and it's a rib knit. This is definitely going to be some sort of top, like an Agnes, or my favorite, the gable top. I love that one. Some more jersey, just some red. This one is a thicker polyester type fabric. It's got a little bit of stretch with it, and I have another roll of this somewhere in the boxes, and I'm thinking Simplicity 2554, I think it is. It's a vintage suit set that I have on my Make 9, which I recently made with a tan fabric very similar to this, and I think this would look really good in it. I have this beautiful 4 or 5 yards of this beautiful blue. It's a cottony type fabric, but it's super soft. It almost feels like it should be shiny, but it's matte. I don't know what to do with this, but I just love the color in it. It's like this light blue with streaks of a darker blue. I'm thinking something structured because of the type of fabric, but I'm not sure. The next one is another knit fabric, and I got because, oh my gosh, sheep! They're little sheeps jumping over fences, and they are just so cute. I'm not sure what I'm gonna make with this. Maybe another pajama set that like I made earlier this year, because I get so much wear out of those pajamas. So maybe like an Agnes top and then make the Margot bottoms out of some maybe check fabric or something like that. I don't know. It's super cute, so I almost want to wear it out. If I make an Agnes top, technically I could wear it out, but I don't know. But maybe I should just make pajamas because it's sheep. But I'd love to hear your comments below what I should make with that, but I really love that. I got some white cottony fabric for lining, primarily some of the fabric that was kind of see-through. I thought that I should get that for. This one is 2 yards. This is a denim, but I don't know if this is even going to show up on camera, but it is a denim, but it's got like this pattern in it. I think it's just a random pattern, but it's like a black pattern on it that's just gets it from just being straight blue. So I don't know, maybe a purse. I have the Gertie Buttrick pattern that has the jean jacket, and I'm also tempted to get the seamwork jean jacket pattern as well. So maybe a jean jacket. I really love jean jackets, but I own like 4 jean jackets, so I don't know if I really need any more, but it would make a good jean jacket. This is 2 yards of this lovely green and white polka dot. It could make a nice dress or top. This one is a canvas. It's very little in how much I have. I think it's less than a yard, maybe a yard. But I like, again, getting these types of canvas type fabrics for purses. Or that's the plan anyways, to get them for purses. I have some ivory white jersey and other white jerseys, and I came across this very little amount of this sort of dusty rose. It's 42 by 28 inches, dusty rose rib knit, and I thought this would make a great contrast with the white ivory jersey that I have, because I have quite a bit of that in my stash. So I'm thinking maybe a toaster where this would be the band, the cuffs, and the collar, and then the ivory for the top. This is some fabric that is silky, satiny. I really like the stripe on here. I think it looks kind of cool, kind of shirting, but I think I'm gonna make a blouse out of it. How much fabric? There's actually 3 yards of this? Wow. So I don't know. I was thinking of a silk cami, but obviously I'm gonna have more fabric there, so I don't know. There is this lovely green. This is sort of a stretch fabric, but it is a polyester. There's 2 yards of it there. It's pretty thick. This is some black fabric. This is 1 1/4 yards. It's got a little bit of stretch. This is more or less, I think, for lining is what this is good for. So there's some black there. Some orange tubular jersey. Another white. This one I thought was really nice. It's 4 yards. There's not a whole lot of stretch to it, but it's got kind of like, there's some stretch, but not a whole lot of stretch. But it's got a little bit of this texture to it. I don't know why, but I thought the sew over at heather dress might be a good option, and I own the heather dress, and I have not made it. But I'm worried because there's not a lot of stretch, and that pattern's meant for stretch, that I might have to go up a size just to accommodate. I don't know. If you've made the heather dress, let me know in the comments below if you had to readjust that. But this could also be a cocoa top or a cocoa dress, so I don't know. That's an option. This lovely tan fabric here, it's got sort of a whitewash to it. This one I'm thinking definitely a skirt of some kind. This one is a really lovely print. This one I wouldn't have normally gone for. This is a Andover Fabrics.com is what this says on the salvage. I wouldn't have normally gone for this particular print, but Harriet from Hobbling Handmade made a dress not long ago that had this sort of fan pattern on it, and I was not impressed with the pattern when she showed it in like her plans videos. But when she made the dress, I was very impressed on how nice it looked. And I thought, you know, this kind of has a similar, it's not the same pattern, but it's the same stylish of geometric shapes. And I thought, you know what, I was impressed with how that one turned out. Maybe this one would have a similar effect, that it just doesn't look all that appealing in fabric, but it would look good as a garment. That purpley fabric that I showed you earlier, this is another type of it. Again, it's got this texture. The problem I find with these fabrics, and I want your opinion on it, is I've made a cocoa top and a toaster sweater out of these fabrics, and they give a little bit of stretch. They're nice sturdy fabrics, but they're not incredibly soft on the inside. So they're just on the inside, but they have an interesting texture on the outside. Another pink stretchy type fabric. We're getting close now. Alright, Alright, this one I got, it's a little remnant, I guess. It's probably less than a yard. This is a canvas fabric, and I'm making a purse out of it. I'm making a purse or a necessary clutch wallet, which I recently got the pattern for the necessary clutch wallet and have been planning to follow along with Sean from Kittenish Behavior, who's put up the sew along tutorial for that. But I don't know, I can't get myself to sit down and make a purse when I could make a garment. I need to, because I need some purses, and I have purses for people who want me to make them purses. So this is actually a placemat, like a placemat and napkin set from, given the little tags here, like the 70s, the 60s. Anyways, my husband saw this, and it's a very linen type fabric. It's still brand new, never been used. And he said, matching purse and wallet set from the fabric. And I'm like, oh, that would be amazing. So yeah, he just encourages me. He's such an enabler. Encourages me to buy fabric that I don't need. This one was a find. This one, I don't know what the quality of this one is, but this is a stretch velvet. Now, velvet in the fake velvet, but it is a stretch velvet, and this one I know I'm gonna make the Joni dress from the stretch book. I don't know how well it's gonna hold up. The fabric's a little thin on the inside of the structure of the fabric. It's not necessarily see-through, but it's just the structure I can tell is not the highest quality. But it's definitely something that I could at least wear at least a couple of times before it falls apart. And it would give me good practice to make that. So we're getting to the end here. Alright, so I have this lovely fabric. It is, I think it's a cotton. It is a black fabric with white, red, and blue stripes. And maybe a pink stripe in there. There's 5 yards of it, so it's really good. I'm thinking a suit. I'm thinking even maybe trousers with the suit. This fabric, again, I'm not really sure. This has got some stretch, but it's almost a gauze because it's so thin. And I'd really like to make a knit top out of it, but given that it's so see-through and thin, what do you line it with? Do you line it with another knit, or do you double line it? Because my husband was like, well, just double line it because you can see the double circles here and it looks fine. And so if you have an opinion on that, what should I do with that? I'd appreciate it. So this is kind of that sports jersey stuff, that mesh knit, and I feel like somebody was talking about it in one of their videos, so when I came across it I was like, oh, I need that, but I'm not sure what it was for or what they used it for. So if you know what this would be good for, other than just like a sports tee, I'd love to hear in the comments below. So this is 4 yards of this. Again, it's sort of an olive olive color. And this, my friends, this jersey is gonna be a Freya for autumn. It's already got a side for it. Speaking of Freya, I have this wonderful jersey. I've got 5 yards of this. It's sort of like a speckled paint fabric, and it's jersey. It's also, I think, yeah, it's almost got a sweatshirting fabric on the inside. This is gonna be the Stella hoodie and joggers from Tilly and the Buttons stretch book. So I've already got those planned as well. But I don't even want to make them until it gets cooler weather, because we're like in summer now, and like if I make them now, when will I use them? Alright, so I've got this stretch fabric here. It is a stretch, but it's almost like a nylon. I don't know what you call it. It almost feels like tights. So if you have a idea of what to make with that, I'd love to know. And then finally, this Hawaiian print. I've got 4 yards of this, and I love these colors, these pastel-y colors. They're just so pretty. And this is a really good amount. I'm thinking play suit, because I have so much, I could probably get away with making some sort of play suit out of that. And that's it. That is all my fabric. And this was a massive haul. I only try to do these kind of hauls every 6 months, or else I would never have room for anything. But I get such good deals that it's hard to beat the prices. And I have ideas that I want to make everything with everything that I have here, but I just don't always have the time. I'd love to hear in the comments below if you have any suggestions or ideas about any of the fabric that I shared with you today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Akram's Ideas, and if you did, be sure to give us a big thumbs up. Don't forget to follow Akram's Ideas on social media and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching!